Welcome back to Backward Point Podcast. My name is Nazar Sayed, and this is an episode about the perils of being a Pakistan cricket player in the year 2024. Today, we're talking about the England series and the T20 World Cup as it pertains to Pakistan. And you'll specifically hear our diverse opinions on one Azam Khan and one Shadab Khan. With me, as always, is my brother and co host, Bashar Sayed.
Babar Azam in a post-match press conference said, when asked a question about Azam Khan, he says, if I don't select him, you guys give me slack. If I do select him, you guys criticize me. It reminds me of a famous quote by Inzamam ul Haq when he was caught obstructing the field twice. He said, I stop the ball, I am out. If I don't stop the ball, I am out. I don't understand the rule.
That was a really good open, by the way. I appreciate that. I mean, what more to say, guys? What more to say than this utter debacle that we have just witnessed, which is the Pakistan series? Honestly, every single series that Pakistan has played in 2024, I have come out of that series being just a little bit more annoyed with this team that I support. How do you feel about that?
Every series raises more questions than answers. It's almost like we are drifting further and further away from reaching to that perfect Pakistan cricket team.
Mm-hmm.
Like we feel like if we change the opening pair, it's gonna do us well. And then when we back youngsters, that doesn't do well. When we change the middle order, that doesn't work for us. We have a new bowler coming in, they don't perform. It's sad because I felt like T20 was the one format that Pakistan was dominant in. We played the last World Cup final, we played the semifinal before that, and we've played some good matches, some overall good cricket. And I feel like we were at the moment now where we had the resources to finally go in to West Indies, USA, conditions that suit Pakistan and clinch that trophy. The World Cup hasn't started yet, but the signs tell us that this may or may not be a World Cup winning team. One thing I want to add is that there is no World Cup in history where Pakistan has gone in with a settled team. There's always been questions on Pakistan's squad selection, on Pakistan's players being in form, out of form.
Talking about the T20 World Cup?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Even the 2009 World Cup, you would say Pakistan had an unsettled squad?
Yeah, because we went in with a brand new bowler in Mohammad Amir. He happened to perform really well.
Do you remember why Shoaib and Asif were not in that World Cup?
Was it? No, I don't remember actually.
Was it the whole bat swinging?
Shoaib was injured, as he's been his whole career. Asif, I'm
Doping?
not too sure.
Was it doping?
I'm trying to think if it was actually doping, but yeah, I can't really put my hand on exactly why they were out.
Okay, no worries. I'll figure it out during the course of this podcast. Lots to talk about. If you've been even remotely close to cricket Twitter in the past 48 hours, you will see that there was a lot of vitriol being thrown at a lot of players, especially if you're on Pakistan cricket Twitter, then, rest in peace to you anyways. Pakistan lost the series against England 2-0. Two out of the 4 games were not even played. This could have been a different series. Could have been 2-2. Could have been 3-1. Could have been 4-0. We don't know. We'll never know. But as it stands right now, 2-0 is the last standing. The fourth and final game at the Oval was a performance by Pakistan where everything went wrong. Everything. From the decision of taking Saim out, to Riz-Bar coming back, to Usman at first down, to Iftikhar not performing, to Azam and Shadab's pair of ducks, to Naseem going for 25, to Azam's horrible bowling, keeping against a one hottest Rauf. Even Amir went wicketless in that game. Just everything that could go wrong all at once, all the marbles came down at the same time, and it was the last game before Pakistan was to fly out to Dallas. Now, this is a Pakistan team that did not announce its squad up until last week. Let's start there. Do you think that Pakistan not announcing its squad up until the very last moment, did it good or did it bad?
It just shows a lack of confidence in players. It shows indecisiveness in your team selection. It shows uncertainty in your plans. And I don't necessarily blame the management. When you have a 7-man selection committee, I can only imagine how long those Zoom calls would have been. Asad Shafiq in Karachi, Gary Kirsten in India and South Africa, the other Pakistan team members in the UK. So it doesn't rub off right when you're the last team to announce your squad. And even once the squad is announced, I read a tweet by Daniel Rasul, and he said that had Pakistan's squad been announced after the 4th T20I, half the team would not make it.
A third of the team would not be in the squad. Or a third of the team's position would be
Questionable.
Yes. Just to follow up from the Mohammad Asif thing, it was the doping scandal. He was banned for violating the cricket board's code of conduct related to a drug scandal. So there's that. I mean, nothing new there, but I just wanted to clarify that.
I heard a story that when Asif had his drug test, somebody asked him, "Hey, Asif, what happened to your drug test?" He says, "Alhamdulillah, positive." I don't know if that's true or not, but I just heard.
Good joke. I mean, that's a pretty dad joke. It should have come from me, but I respect that. Coming back to this situation. Yeah, I don't even know where to start with this, man.
It all starts with the captaincy debacle, right?
Yes.
Babar Azam is
the Badwaya Shaheen Afridi.
Babar Azam is Pakistan's captain. He is thrown out, forced to resign. Shaheen Afridi comes in. Pakistan lose 4-1 in New Zealand. The one positive we thought at the time was Pakistan's decision to change the opening pair for Saim Ayub to open with Rizwan and Babar coming one down. Quite selfless of Babar to do that because he's a prolific run scorer for Pakistan in this format.
So wait, what is the wrong decision for Babar to retire at the end of 2023's World Cup or for Babar to take it back?
Babar, when asked in the post-match conference, why did he take the captaincy back? He said, because of the World Cup. I feel like Babar felt there was some unfinished business from his side. He came very close to lifting a few trophies for Pakistan, the Asia Cup, the T20 World Cup. And I think Babar felt like he had the resources and these conditions were going to favor Pakistan for him to win the World Cup. Now, we're talking as if Pakistan has already lost the World Cup. It's in the past tense.
Yeah.
But the World Cup, it starts tomorrow and Pakistan's first game is next week. But it feels like from the past couple of series that have happened, this team doesn't look in the best form, right? You start off from the New Zealand series, Pakistan tours New Zealand, they lose 4-1. New Zealand's C team comes to Pakistan. Pakistan they draw the series 2-2. Pakistan lose a game against Ireland in the UK, and then they're swept in England against England 2-0.
14 games, 9 losses, and 5 wins this year in 2024. Pakistan in T20Is.
2 of those wins against Ireland, 2 of those games against New Zealand's C team.
At home. Yeah.
At home. So I think it says a lot about where our players are currently at.
Okay, so is it because... Why are we losing?
Combination. Players not firing. Players not translating their league or franchise performances to the international stage.
Why?
I think there is a huge difference between franchise leagues and performing internationally. As soon as you have that Pakistan star on your chest, the pressure is monumental. It's a different ball game altogether, as Vakar says. And I always felt like PSL would be the bridge between Pakistan domestic cricket and international cricket. But now I feel like there needs to be another league, the Pakistan Super League, which is going to be a gap between the PSL and international cricket.
There was a conversation going on the social media where people are talking and they were basically asking the question, is PSL masking the performances of these players? Or, in other words, is PSL the wrong criterion at which we should be judging performances? Because the pitches are different, the international standard is different, the quality of cricket that is being played is, we would like to believe it's very international level, but it's not really international level.
The quality of local and foreign talent has depreciated.
Quite visibly. And so is that even a right metric to be determining who should be in Pakistan's 15? Usman Khan came back into the squad for the fourth T20I and he scored 38 off 21 or something. Like he scored some good runs, and that is the one good performance from one of the newbies. But his inclusion in the squad is still, even though his performance, he was one of the 3 people who scored runs in the fourth T20. His inclusion is still dubious for me. I'm not convinced that he's the guy that we should go for. And there's a lot of other people in this list that have now put asterisks near their name. One Azam Khan as well, which we will get to. But this 15 that Pakistan has sent over to the US and West Indies. Yeah, I mean, I agree with Daniel Rasool. A lot of these people have now put themselves in a very questionable position, and the more cricket that they play, the more their confidence shakes, their foundation shakes, their chemistry shakes. Everything is sort of being torn from the seams when it comes to Pakistan cricket, and I don't know if it was because England is playing in home conditions, playing their A+ side, and we still are quote unquote trying combinations, or maybe Pakistan should have just, when New Zealand came home, they should have experimented then, and then that's it, locked in their 15 from there, and then give it all they had. I feel like Pakistan management being so double-minded in who actually they wanted to play has put them in a position of this of like, it's against their better judgment to have that. It's raised more questions than answers. It's put doubts in people's minds. Maybe people who thought they should have been in the team are now being out and are sore about it. People who maybe shouldn't have been in the team at all have now been put in a position where it's exposed that they're exposed that they should not have been selected for this tournament. Everything is sort of up in the air, and the first game of the World Cup starts in less than 12 hours. So we're in that
Pakistan's
position.
first game is in a few
No,
days.
but the World Cup starts.
The World Cup starts, yes.
Yes. So we're in a position where the tournament is there. We're here, right? And we still don't know what our 11 is that we're going to put on the field.
This reminds me of, one
No,
analogy.
go ahead.
When you're a student, right? At least I can recall when I was in university, there were some courses where you just put off studying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say your final exam is coming up and you just put off catching up, doing assignments, doing your homework. And you put it off so much that now it's the night of the final.
Yeah.
And you open the syllabus and you're at that point where you don't even know what you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't even know what you don't know. That is where I think Pakistan is. It's the eve of the World Cup, and we don't even know exactly what's wrong.
Yeah,
who's our openers? What's our middle order? What sort of pace attack are we going with? Is Imad Wasim even fit to come back? We haven't tested abroad at all. Why is Abbas Afridi in the team? So, just lots of questions.
We're playing one way too many Pacers, bro. Like that's just, we'll get to the bowling. Let's start from the top, right? Riz-Bar is back. Thoughts and feelings?
So the reason why they were the partnership was broken, Pakistan tested Saim Ayub, then Hasibullah, then Saim Ayub again. Even though Riz-Bar were Pakistan's most prolific run scorers as opening pairs, they have, I think, the most runs as a pair. They have the most 100 partnerships. The issue arises when it comes to their scoring rate. Now, their combined scoring rate is about 7.98 with respect to their run rate. Their strike rates in the last few World Cups have been questionable.
And 114 for Babar and 120 for
Rizwan. And Pakistan was just not able to utilize the power play the first 6 overs, and they always found themselves to be at an under par score in the first 10 overs. For example, the World Cup semifinal in 2021 against Australia, Pakistan's first 10 over score was 71. They had later managed to add 100 more runs in 10 overs to make it 170 odd, thanks to Fakhr's brilliance. But you're just behind the 8 ball. What England and other teams are doing is that they're scoring heaps of runs in the power play, putting the other team under pressure. I think their power play score, just the 4th match, was like 78 in 6 overs, and Pakistan's was 59, which is still respectable. Babar and Rizwan this year have come back, and I can see a definite change in intent. They're playing with a lot more risk, and sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. But I love the intent that they're playing with. Nobody had a personal issue with Rizwan and Babar opening. The issue was the style of which they were playing in. Now, at least the fourth match, they've changed their style. I can say Rizwan has really adapted his game. He's taking more risk, he's attacking, he's coming down the track. And I think if they continue playing this way, there's no problem with Riz-Bar, right? It's the problem was always with the intent. Now, what does this mean? Like, we backed Saim Ayub, we gave him heaps of opportunities, but his stats this year have been horrendous. There's no way to hide this. I love the Karachi agenda, but sometimes you just have to sit back and be like, bro, is this working? Is this not working? Saim Ayub's T20I stats this year, 12 innings, 163 runs, average of 13.58, strike rate of 130, no 50s, high score of 45. Now, I can't remember any other opener in Pakistan's T20I history who we have backed this much. Can you recall someone?
No, I can't. And actually, the joke that we have in this podcast is that Shazia Hassan was in the 2009 World Cup. Like, that's our joke because he was there and then he was gone. Like, we haven't heard from him almost since. I think Ahmed Shahzad might be the only guy that we've sort of backed consistently. Before that, this is all off the top of my head. Saman Butt was someone who we backed up even consistently, and he had patches of brilliance here or there. But yeah, it's tough. Maybe Imam was the next guy who we backed up quite, but Imam had consistent performances as well. He had 3 centuries on the trot, and he gave you a good solid foundation in ODIs and tests. So that's where that comes from. But with Saim, man, it's tough. It's tough because of the player that we know that he is, and I wanna sort of umbrella this whole conversation with the role of management and captain. I really want to emphasize on this because this, whatever the stories that we've heard off the record about the 2023 World Cup from the camp, from the Islamabad camp, from PCB camp, from players who were there, from management who was there, one thing that I felt was that maybe the management / captain / coach were not able to bring that confidence back in that was lost from a Shadab Khan, Salman Ali Agha, Abdullah Shafiq, right? Maybe Haris Rauf was one that sort of felt like he wasn't there and he just maybe needed a talking to. I feel like if you need a captain in situations like this that can uplift players. I'm not talking about the whole Navastu Mera match winner spiel that we got. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like a genuine sit down with your star player, like Shadab and Babar. Like, are they having a conversation? Does Babar go up to Shadab and be like, "Yo, I know you're getting hit for 50 back to back. There's something going on. What's going on? Let's talk."
I think Babar is doing more than enough for what his role is. He's backing these players. Like, I think after Shadab had been hit for those 50 and 4 overs, any other captain might not have played Shadab again. He would have brought in Iftikhar Ahmed. Any captain who would have seen Saim Ayub's record, the first few matches wouldn't have given him more chances. I think the fact that Babar Azam is still selecting Saim Ayub, he is still picking Azam Khan, he is still backing Shadab Khan, I think it speaks volumes as to what he wants from these players. It's not Babar's fault that these guys aren't delivering on the stage, on the platform that Babar has provided. He has himself sacrificed his opening position for Saim Ayub so he can score for Pakistan.
No, I think you're misconstruing what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that's fine. The selection process is good, but there's 2 things happening. Either you're picking these guys to prove a point, which is, hey, Riz-Bar was the best thing that's ever happened to Pakistan cricket, or you're picking these guys to make them succeed. Which one is it? Because the messaging that I'm getting now after the 4th T20I is like, we were right all along. I don't want to feel like that when I'm a Pakistan cricket supporter, is that, hey, we know that Saim is the guy who should be opening for Pakistan. We know this. Babar should be playing 3, Rizwan should be opening with Saim. That's the winning combination. Now, Saim going out there and consistently being bad, that's not on Babar. I get that. But what conversation is being had between a youngster who just started playing international cricket last year and the veteran who's been in here for 9 years? I want to know that conversation. Maybe I'll never be privy to that, and that's fine. But what I'm hoping is that Babar goes to Saim and is like, hey, this fourth T20I was just a trial. Just wanted to see if this is something that keeps working. Because if Babar is not choosing Saim to open in the T20 World Cup, that's a spot wasted. Same thing with Azam. Same thing with Shadab. If you're going to Azam Khan, he's been like, hey, we're taking the gloves from you. It's going back to Rizzi. Thanks for your service. That's another spot wasted.
We don't have any backup middle order batsmen.
There we go. If you're going to Shadab and you're like, hey, bro, I know you're one of the greatest T20I players of Pakistan's history. I was actually thinking about this because there's an upcoming podcast that we're doing where we're talking about the greatest Pakistan. Or is it the world? Or?
We're doing an all-time 11.
All-time 11. But I was thinking about that in terms of Pakistan. I was like, I love Shahid Afridi to death, right? And there is a huge likelihood that if I ever pick Pakistan's all-time T20I, I'd pick Shadab over Shahid Afridi.
He makes it over because of his batting and his
bowling and fielding.
Electric fielding.
Like that's a genuine thing that I have to struggle with as a Pakistan cricket fan. So when we know that's the guy, bro. When we know that he's down in the trumps, he's like, you got to pick him up.
Well, Babar Azam is no motivational speaker, bro.
That's why I don't think he was right to retake the captaincy.
What would Shaheen would have done that would have been different here?
I don't know, but it would have been different. He brings a different energy. Shaheen, let's talk about Shaheen a little bit. 27 wickets in 14 innings at an average of 14 and an economy of 8. He's having a year, bro. He's having a year.
And
I think the top wicket taker of this year.
There was something happening with Shaheen's captaincy as well. Like he had a conversation with Mohammad Amir at the ILT20. He brought him back out of retirement. He had a word with Imad Wasim post PSL, brought him out of retirement. He brought Azam Khan in the team. He changed Pakistan's opening pair. So there was something in his thought process that it seemed like I could see what he was trying to do.
He was cooking something, and we didn't let the man cook. We took the stove out too quickly. We gave it to Babar, who had already burnt a steak before. And he was like, I got this. I feel like the whole captaincy debacle that happened in February, right? February, March, shouldn't have happened. Like this, what we're seeing are maybe not directly, but the nuances and the effects of a unstable foundation that is Pakistan cricket. I'm not saying that maybe if Babar had never resigned his captaincy, this is a whole different conversation, right? But Babar resigning his captaincy. I can't even speak today. Resigning his captaincy and then going to Shaheen and then pulling it off like 5 months before the tournament. I feel like it's bad mojo, bro.
I think if the one positive from that is that Shaheen is back in his bowling form and rhythm. Like he's in that vengeance arc, that story he put, guys, we know what I'm talking about. He's been bowling a lot better. Pace is decent, good variations. But just overall, yeah, I'm not sure what the consequence of this may be post-World Cup. Because, again, the World Cup hasn't happened yet, but we're just preemptively thinking that things don't look the best.
Huge red flags for Pakistan, this cricket team. That's all I'm going to say. Huge red flags. And, like, I want to give a proper, chunk to the whole Shadab and Azam debate. Because I feel like you and I off camera have been extremely vocal about this. It's just in our personal, because we're home alone. All we do is yell at each other from across the house. I want you to put your case for Azam Khan first, and then I'll reboot it or rebuttal it. One thing is extremely funny about this, because as we do when we're sitting and we're talking about cricket, you put on a podcast that we did a year ago, maybe 14 months ago. Was it
last
exactly
PSL?
Last PSL. We'll link it in the bio below. And this is the podcast, by the way, that Azam heard, and he sent me a Snapchat about it, and it was like with a crying with laughing emoji. It was me being extremely critical of Azam, his inclusion, his size, his fitness, his his general demeanor towards the game, and you defending him, telling him, yo, he's the real deal. He should be in the 11. He's the guy who's going to rescue Pakistan from this middle order crisis. And I feel like in 12 months, we're on the opposite side of the spectrum now. Now, this is extremely interesting to me as a case study of Azam Khan. And last thing before I preface this, and I'll give you the floor, I promise. The conversation that I've been seeing about Azam online and the cricket discourse has been absolutely disgusting. There's less conversation about the man behind the gloves, behind the pads, behind the helmet, than there is about just taking shots at the guy, right? In a world where we emphasize so much on mental health and we emphasize so much on cyberbullying, hey, this is a bad thing, don't do this, this is not right. I feel like we've taken 3 steps back with Azam Khan. I'm all for criticizing him. Like just because we're friends, just because he's been on the podcast, he's an alumni of Backward Point, does not mean that he is like infallible and that we are now going to like let him go. If he does bad performances, we have to talk about it. This is our job. But in a respectful manner, in a way that's criticizing his game and not being personal, I think that's extremely important. I got to give a shout out to Pro Sports here. Both Saad and Behram did a really good job in tackling the situation. A few other podcasts, I haven't heard Battafas, and maybe they'll talk about it as well. I don't know. But what I've been seeing online from other people just to get a joke in, just to get some clicks in, it's been vile. I'm honestly extremely disheartened at that discourse. I don't think that's how you criticize any player. And as far as we know Azam, he reads everything. He sees this stuff. And he's a guy who's very active on social media. Like he knows what's going on. And like whatever happens to him and whatever his performance is, I just feel bad for him in that scenario because he has to go online and he has to read this stuff. And it's nothing about his cricket. Like the one thing that I understand about the whole Shahid Afridi criticism is throughout his years, people were like, oh my gosh, Shahid, what are you doing? You're dumb. You're going out on the first ball. And like even retroactively, I watched some games and I'm super pissed. I'm like, Afridi, you did not have to do that. Like you could have just taken your time and done X, Y, Z. But there was nothing about his general demeanor that people were talking about. I feel like with Azam, the criticism ends and then the jokes start and then the bullying starts and then the cyberbullying starts. And I'm not a fan of that. I find it extremely disgusting. And, I'm not trying to have any moral grandstanding here, but I just think that we need to stop doing this and we need to start talking about cricket.
Well, that's just the nature of international cricket fans, and especially Pakistan cricket fans. I mean, you see some of the memes of Babar Azam, right? There's people using AI, there's people dubbing his voices.
But that's most of that is in good fun. Him singing the song from Munna Bhai, that's fun time. I don't think that anyone's getting offended by that as long as people are having a good time. But when it's at the expense of Babar Azam, let's say if they're going at his personal life, there was one, I don't even want to know who these people were, but this was a podcast that was like claiming to know all this dirt on Babar. Like that's extremely offensive. And I'm not trying to go on this whole woke brigade, but this is not what the discourse should be about at all. There was extremely violent comments about Shaheen when Shaheen took captaincy about, Shaheen pre-marriage, post-marriage. Like, what are you talking about? This has nothing to do with cricket. And people find it amusing and people retweet. And this is like where the line, I feel like, there's a definitive line. It's not even blurred. There's no gray area, guys. This is what you guys talk about when it's cricket, and this is what you don't talk about when it's cricket. And what's up?
No, I just remember.
You were thinking, okay.
I was remembering.
I thought the camera went off.
No, I think I was remembering what Azam said in the podcast with us. He said that Pakistan had. This is what I'm saying. Pakistan has one sport, cricket, and a lot of our fans take out a lot of their negative frustration through cricket on cricketers.
Yeah,
a lot of them have nothing better to do with their lives instead of just commenting behind a screen. And, I think I also experienced this bullying firsthand once we did this collaborative post with Haider Ali and Islamabad United.
Mm-hmm.
It was his innings against Zalmi in the eliminator, and he eliminated Babar Azam's Zalmi. And just the comments on that clip, I was like, man, Haider Ali is also a collaborator on this post.
Yeah.
If he reads this, like, what is this going to do to his mental health?
What is the relationship between Haider and then Babar after that?
Yeah.
People don't understand this has consequences. People, their cyberbullying is it takes a toll on people so much that, people end up taking their lives. And when you're on a pedestal that high, you have to be, it's fair game to be critical. But to the sport and to the profession and what this person is putting out into the public, nobody has any right to go out and cross that barrier and go into personal things and talk about certain aspects that are just distasteful. They're not in the general conversation of the cricket or the critique of the cricket. And that's where I feel like I'm very positive that that's not where we're going to go. That's why this whole preamble is taking place. But I'm just very disgusted by the whole situation this past 48 hours.
Let's go back to actually 1 year ago. We were having the conversation on Azam Khan, his inclusion in the Pakistan team. And I was convinced by his performances in the BPL, in the PSL, that this guy is the real deal. You know, and he has the stats in franchise leagues to back himself up. And at the time, he was, hitting sixes for fun in the PSL. He was sweeping bowlers like Mohammad Hasnain at 140 kph for sixes on top of the National Stadium Karachi's roof. And so he was picked off of that PSL, goes into the Afghanistan series, plays 2 matches, flops badly, and you're back to square one where Azam Khan's fitness isn't good, his batting international is not good. He is in the team to play spinners and attack them, but he's not able to pick simple bowlers like Mujibur Rahman or Rashid Khan. That's the criticism on him, right? So that series happens. I'm back into the camp where I'm like, okay, Azam is maybe not the real deal for internationals. Then comes the Global T20. He's the 6th highest run scorer. Then comes the CPL. He helps Guyana Amazon Warriors win the CPL. He was man of the match in the qualifiers. He goes on to win the National T20 Cup. He's one of the highest run scorers in terms of the batting position he plays in, with the most impact, man of the match in the semifinals. And then comes the PSL. He is the best wicketkeeper. He's been given that award. We don't give that award. The PSL management does. And he scores runs at a strike rate of 170, impactful runs in a few of the matches. Again, he is a standout at the position he plays in.
And wins the PSL.
Wins the PSL. So all of that contributes to him coming back into the Pakistan team. And when you look at Pakistan's future tours, the World Cup happening in the Caribbean, where he's been playing the last 3 years, scoring runs at a high strike rate, knows the pitches, knows the conditions, attack spinners, I was convinced again that we should go with Azam because we don't have a replacement for him at number 5. The easiest thing in the world to say is Saim is bad, Rizwan is bad, Babar is bad, Iftikhar is bad, Azam is bad. That's half our team. That's easy to say. Tell me they're bad and these players are good. Give me a replacement. A lot of these so-called analysts on TV, they're just out there and taking their frustrations out on these players, just criticizing for the sake of criticizing them. They're not giving any proper solutions to Pakistan's top order or middle order.
Now, here's a counter argument I will immediately make for people. As you said that, a name came in everybody's head. Everybody's listening, driving, walking, in the gym, or just putting this on their TV for funsies, thought about Mohammad Haris in that moment. And that is the wrong name to think about. We have been vocal supporters of Mohammad Haris for the World Cup inclusion, but not at the position where Azam plays.
Azam Khan is a middle order batsman.
He plays at
a
5 or
lower
6.
order middle batsman.
Mohammad Haris should be in the top 3. Where he plays is where Usman Khan plays. That's the switch that I would make. That's the switch I would make. He's the guy who pulled Ngidi for a 4 in the knockout, well, almost
Rabada.
a knockout at the World Cup.
It was Rabada.
Rabada, my bad, sorry. And he scooped Nokia for 6. This is the guy. He should have been in the 15, but not in place of Azam, in place of Usman. Like that's the confusion that people are in. Like, oh, you know what? Ridiculous stuff I've seen. Put Saim at Azam's place. That's what I've heard. Saim Ayub at Azam's place. He's an opener. You're gonna do a Heatherly 2.0 again.
People will just say anything at this point.
It's infuriating because there is genuine criticism to be made, but there is so much noise before we even get to the point that it's all in vain. Let's talk about Azam in the past in 2024, right? He's been given a number of chances. He's played a number of series, and we're at a position where even though the backing that he had, because we started this conversation with you being pro Azam, me being anti Azam, skeptical of Azam, and then now I am pro Azam and you're skeptical of Azam, and I want to go on that journey with you. And where did you lose faith? I'll tell you where I gained faith.
There's a couple of things, right? So obviously, the fitness thing is a huge thing. And secondly, like that's the cost of playing Azam Khan, right? You're playing Azam Khan at the cost of Pakistan's best wicketkeeper dropping his gloves. Number one. Number two, Pakistan compromising on its fitness standards. Number two. And all of that with Azam really not repaying the confidence that the management has shown in him. Like he is in the team to attack spinners, and he's not able to pick Adil Rashid, right? You can argue that not even Shadab or Babar or Rizwan were picking him. But again,
That was my argument.
you're in the team to not pick him, but to attack him. You weren't able to pick a Sodi in New Zealand. And it just shows that Azam Khan in the Pakistan shirt, when the star is on his heart, there's a different kind of pressure on him. And the cost of him keeping ahead of Rizwan is that he dropped one sitter, one dolly of a catch, and another chance that is sort of at this international level is regulation.
Yes.
So I would say his 5-ball duck and then those 2 drop catches, he's had a negative impact on the match.
The fourth T20I was hollering for him. Like there's no other way to put it. When we talk about, like you said, impact players, there's people who have a net positive on the game and a net negative on the game. There's in NBA, it's called forgetting what it's called. There's a term for it in the NBA. They actually calculate this stuff. But yeah, so if we were going with that metric, yes, extremely excruciating game for Azam. But this is where my conversation from before comes in, right?
One last thing, actually.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
The way of his dismissal, like I understand it's Mark Wood bowling at 95 miles an hour, but like this is the stage to deliver. And he just seemed like he was all over the place against Mark Wood. Like you see the replay and his eyes are closed. He was in no position to pull that ball. I would say Usman Khan got very lucky because I think Joss Butler messed up by just bowling spinners against him. If Archer, Jordan, or Wood bowled short stuff against Usman Khan, he would have also been exposed because I saw him play in the PSL final and he just had no response to the short stuff. Now, considering these guys are going to play the World Cup, Pakistan's Super 8 is going to be with England, South Africa, West Indies. These guys have quick bowlers, man. It's not going to be quick. Mark Wood, Jofra Archer, Norkia, Rabada, they're not going to be bowling you half volleys, right? People know Azam is good against spin. When he comes on to bat, they bring on pacers and he struggles. So we're paying the cost of Azam by foregoing Pakistan's fitness standards, by letting Rizwan give the gloves up, and still he's not be able to repay the faith shown by the captain and selectors into the Pakistan team.
Yes, I agree with that. Now, the whole point of me bringing up the whole Babar Azam and motivation and team management and uplifting these players is when Azam dropped the first one in the 4th T20I, it looked like it was a tough chance. Maybe a swifter keeper would have had it. Maybe Rizwan would have probably kept that. It's okay, it happens. When that happened, you could see a visible change in body language in Azam behind the stumps. I don't know if you noticed that, but you could see him being nervous. You could see him, like sort of in his head, sort of cycling that moment over and over again. When you're in your head like that, and I only have experienced the Markham Cricket League in Toronto, but I assume, when I drop a catch at, it's a dolly, I'm thinking about that catch for like a couple of overs, right? When that catch happened the second time at Haris Rauf's over, brilliant. He was bowling rockets. Rauf is back. That's one positive that we can talk about later. But yeah, Rauf was bowling like his heart out. It snicks and Azam drops it again. Right? That's when I think that the captaincy should be shown. That's when a leadership is exposed. Your captain should have come up, right? He should have had a 30-second conversation with Azam, face to face. Bro, you got this. It's fine. Breathe, relax, slow the game down, right? Haris is like fumed. I totally get it. Asad Bhai dropped my catch like 2 days ago on a dolly. I was fuming. I'm a leg spinner, right? I was pissed off, and that's fine. But you have to take the game back in that situation, right? When Hassan Ali dropped the catch of, was it Matthew Wade? in the semifinal?
Yes.
I remember Fakhr went to him,
Shoaib
Malik went to him, Babar went to him. Right? I'm talking not when the game ended. I'm talking about in that moment. Nobody came to Azam. And you could just see he was trying to. He felt like the smallest man in the world in that moment.
It was almost as if he's gonna cry any moment.
I was feeling so horrible for him because we've all been in that situation. Like, this is the worst nightmare. This is everybody's worst nightmare. And at least I will give him this. He knew what he did, and he didn't have a smirk or like a stupid reaction like Amar Akmal did in 2011 against
Ross.
He didn't have any of that body demeanor. Like, he knew that he effed up. Like, that's as easy as it. And he knows it, but you need somebody to go up and talk to the guy. You have to bring him down. He's somewhere else now. He's not at the Oval. He was not at the Kia Oval at that moment. And this is where I think the captaincy has to come up and be like, hey, it's fine. It's totally fine. Hayes will calm down. He's a fast bowler. They're already at like their testosterone level is so high. They're already at 110 in their head. You gotta calm down. Right? 3 balls later, Azam catches Joss Butler and he throws the ball away in disgust, right? The only person that comes to him is Shadab.
And in between all that, I saw Rizwan come up to him as well.
Rizwan came up to him after the fact, yes. And in that moment, when you're feeling like the smallest person in the world, you're feeling the whole weight of a series that you've technically already lost because 150, you were never defending that. It was sort of like at that moment, like just a meaningless game. But the pressure is so high. That's the mindset you're going to go in with your star middle order, the only person that you have that can actually hit sixes at will in the World Cup. Really? That's what infuriated me. Not the fact that Azam dropped it. Azam, it happens. This is cricket. You will drop dollies at all times. Pakistan is plagued with this. He's not the first keeper to drop it, and he won't be the last, right? But what I was infuriated by was what we saw in the 2023 World Cup with players like Hadis being not confident, Shadab being not confident, the opening stand not being confident. Like, the only person that felt like had any sort of swagger was Babar in that World Cup. And even he choked it against India after the 50 he scored. I felt like in that moment, maybe a Shaheen would have been a different captain. He would have come up, talked to Azam, given a pat on the back. Bro, you got this. It's fine. It's okay. It's a meaningless match. We need you to perform. We need you to bring that up. And this is my fear. This is my genuine fear. Because of this, right? Because of the body language that we're seeing, words not spoken are words spoken in another language. And what I'm afraid of is that we are going to go in with the most safest 11 of all time against USA. And I think that is a mistake. We're going to go with Riz-Bar. We're going to go with Usman at 3. We're going to go with Fakhr at 4. And we might go for Imad against Shadab. Or Imad in place of Amir and then Abrar against Shadab.
No, Imad in place of Azam and Abrar in place of Shadab.
Yes. Or that. And I think that's my World Cup trophy gone. I don't care what happens. I would rather lose with the players that they backed since 2024 than otherwise.
I feel like if they do
that was my long spiel. I hope everybody stay tuned for that. I feel like I spoke for an hour.
I feel like if Pakistan does that, like if they back Saim, if they back Azam, they'll be the first people to be kicked out of the team if Pakistan, let's say, God forbid, does not make it to Super 8s, or if they don't make it as semis. They'll be the first scapegoats Pakistan goes
Conversely, if Saim and Azam don't play and Pakistan kick out of the first round, do you think they will come back?
I think either way they're out.
Then why not play them, give them the chance, give them the entire opportunity. Bro, this World Cup, let's be honest, Pakistan has like a 5 to 10% chance of making it out of here with the Czech Cup. And that's being very generous with that numbering. I said Pakistan is in my 4. I still believe, because, I'm extremely delulu, but I still believe that there may be a situation where Pakistan makes it out. But if that's the way that you're going to go and you think Saim and Azam are already nicked off, then give them the chance to prove themselves.
I like how you're so empathetic with Azam and how he must be feeling. But don't you think there is an onus on him to be more fit, more agile, lose some weight, look like an athlete when he's playing international cricket for Pakistan? Like that, you can control the controllables, and I feel like Azam can control how he looks. if he goes on a diet plan, if he goes on a training regiment, we've seen people do that. And Azam Khan, you search this up, PSL 2020, Azam Khan, and you'll see how slim and agile he was then. Because if he does not do that, like small things he does, like if there's a bye, if he misses stumping, it's just going to be highlighted and magnified to the max because he's Azam Khan, because he's not fully fit physically, because then he's also Moin Khan's son. So all of those things don't go for him. I would absolutely hate to be Azam Khan at this moment. I don't know what he's going through, what he's thinking, but it's probably not good stuff. And as much as I know Babar Azam and this team, they will likely set him out the World Cup. They will bring in Imad for Azam. And I'm not sure how much confidence they have in Shadab. Like he did ball well the last match. But they might just bring in abroad as the mystery, the surprise element that no one's ever seen, except for the test matches and the T20Is and the PSL matches he's already played.
Yeah, Shadab's form, if you could switch over to Shadab a little bit, it is worrying. This is Shadab's last 3 T20Is. Ready? Versus Ireland, first ball duck, 54 runs given in 4 overs. Versus England, 3 runs off 4 balls, 55 runs given in Birmingham. Last game, last T20I, golden duck, and then 3 overs, 20 runs, I think, at the Oval. This is Shadab going into the World Cup. Like, in 2023, before the Asia Cup, I keep coming back to this. If you told me that this was the 15 that was going, I'd be like, firstly, who's Usman Khan? Secondly, I'd be happy. I'd be like, yeah, bro, Shadab, best T20I player for Pakistan of all time. No brainer. Azam, we were actually just debating about that pre-Asia Cup at the post PSL last year. We were like, yeah, this is the guy. He should be in the team. Who else isn't performing?
Saim Ayub.
Saim Ayub, no look shot. He was at the peak. Gulistan Johor agenda, Karachi agenda. We're like, yeah, these are the guys. There was another Naseem Shah. I was like, the dream is here. Totally, let's go for it. But now, I just don't know what happened to these guys, if I'm being honest. Like, I wish I could talk to these people. Like, what is going on? Like, genuinely have a conversation with it. One thing for sure that I do want to touch on is whenever we have Azam next, I want to talk about this fitness thing. Because we've talked to him on and off camera about who his greatest inspiration in sports is, and it's Michael Jordan. Like, he talked about it on our podcast. He loved The Last Dance. He was super motivated by it. And like us, like, we love The Last Dance as well. And the one thing that anybody can take away from The Last Dance is that, Jordan had a work ethic that, like, maybe only parallels to Kobe's. Because those were the 2 people who wanted to outwork everybody.
And Jordan would take things personally.
Yeah.
So why doesn't Azam take these criticism personally, hit the gym,
so that
prove everybody wrong?
Right? He said that he did. Remember, he told us that in our podcast, and I urge everybody to go back and listen to it. He told us that he used to put negative comments on his wall and read them every day and be like, this is the fuel to my fire. That's the Azam Khan I want. Where is that guy gone? I feel like whenever he's in the international circuit, whatever is going on, he feels timid, he feels nervous, he feels undercooked, he feels like he's just the entire weight of the world, like Atlas, the Greek Titan Atlas. His tragedy is that he will bear the weight of the entire world forever till the end of time and then beyond. That's what Azam Khan feels like at some point. He feels like Atlas. And I don't understand that, because when he's wearing the Reds for Islamabad, he's a different player.
His demeanor is different. He walks differently. He bats differently. I don't know if it's the pressure or the standard that he plays in the PSL versus internationals.
Because we know he's got that power to do that, right? When we talked to him about the flick that he had against Hasnan bowled at 145. The audacity to go down on 1 foot and flick Mohammad Hasnan out of the National Stadium, Karachi, you need goals for that. So it's not like he's incapable of doing that. We've seen that brilliance before. Somebody, Babar, captaincy, one of the 7 selectors that we have, has to sit these people down and be like, we're going to back you, bro. And that's not the message that we got from the last T20I. The last T20I said, guys, everything's hit the fan. We're going on restore mode, safe mode windows, and it's over. The dream is over. We're going to try to make it to the Super 8s and exit respectfully. That's the vibe I got. And that's not the vibe I want to take to Pakistan. Not what the vibe I want to take to the World Cup.
I think
Am I right or wrong with this?
Yeah, no, with Azam Khan, I feel like he said in an interview that when he plays leagues, they pick him because firstly, they give him the confidence that he's going to play all 10 matches minimum. And the expectation is that Azam will build him at least 2 or 3 matches. So he knows like he's playing all the matches. He has that security. In the Pakistan team, it's a bit more cutthroat. 2 innings, 3 innings, you flop, you're out. And I think he mentioned that in one of his interviews with Shoaib Malik that like he needs a clear stance on what his role is, what opportunities will be given. Because if not, then he's going to be routing his way to the international leagues. He's not centrally contracted, so he can play as many leagues as he wants. He just signed up for the Colombo Strikers in the LPL, so he's still a very sought-after product in the franchise league circuit, especially the Asian conditions, because of the prowess he has against spin hitting. So, yeah, I think when he spoke to Hanif Malik on the podcast for Islamabad United, the one thing he kept telling us on and off camera was one of the biggest problems in Pakistan cricket is insecurity. Everybody from the chairman to the captain to even the team masseuse, they don't know what their role is and how long they'll be in that role for. So all the planning is short term to save your spot for the next series, for the next tour. And I just think that is the termite that is eating Pakistan cricket inside out.
At the Patreon level, we asked people that, hey, we were doing this podcast, thoughts and stuff. And Yusuf, I feel like sums up every Pakistan cricket fan's emotions right now. He says that he was actually at the game for both the games. And he's like, bro, the crazy fans supported them regardless of how bad they played. These are my issues. And I feel like he speaks for a lot of Pakistani fans. He says, Azam Khan has proven himself to be a liability with the bat, ball, and gloves. It's undeniable now. Can we honestly rely him for the World Cup? Naseem's questionable in his opinion. Saim Ayub is a huge liability in the top order, and Haris and Imad are back, which is good. But his concerns are those 3 people. I'm pretty sure he also meant Shadab, but he forgot to mention that. Just give me a quick one on this. If we don't rely on Azam Khan, Shadab Khan, Saim Ayub, Naseem Shah, that's 4 of our main people that go into an 11 anytime, any day. Because they're not performing to the level, are they bad players now and we should kick them out and find like excuses to get them out of the World Cup and get somebody else in? Or do we just back them straight up through the 28 days that we're in the US and West Indies? What do we do?
I think at this point, Pakistan they're too deep into this to sit these guys out of the squad. Like they're in the squad. So either they're playing in the 11 or they're on the bench. You can bench Naseem. You can probably even bench Saim. But the problem with Azam is that the way they've picked this team is they don't really have a like-for-like middle order replacement for Azam Khan. People keep saying, oh, bring in Imad for Azam. But Imad, like you can't really rely on him as a proper middle order batsman. And the other issue is that if you promote Iftikhar up the order, this guy, whenever he gets more than like 10 balls to face, he seems like he's clueless. Nobody talks about that.
I feel like Iftikhar is the one guy who has been undershadowed between this whole Shadab Azam thing. I think he's the one guy that nobody's talking about.
I remember
he's having a horrible
I
series.
remember when we were kids, we would often get in trouble, and like he would oftentimes get the beating, and I would just like go to my room and sleep. I would like escape the beating, and I feel like Iftikhar is that guy. Like he is just enjoying all of this criticism on Shadab and Azam and
like,
Saim.
Nobody's talking about me.
He's
I'm
like,
good.
bro, at least nobody's talking about me yet.
But yo, backward point never forgets. We remember what you did to us.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. People who are deep fans of actually the Patreon people know.
The Patreon people know.
Yeah. So, and you know what? We love you, Chachu. Honestly, but like it was tough. Let me just quickly open his T20I stats for 2024, and we'll give a talk about it. Well, okay. Nobody's talking about Ifti like this, but we'll bring it up. Year 2024, he's played 12 innings. He scored 161 runs, 37 not out, 16 average, 118 strike rate.
That's abysmal for our finisher. I can't remember him finishing any matches.
These are games that he's played against Ireland, 4 T20 as home New Zealand C team, D team, whatever you guys want to put under the brackets. That's 3 plus 4, 7 games that he's played out of the 12 against those teams, and he's scored 161, 137, 37 not out at an average of 16 and at strike rate of 118.
And for some reason, Babar Azam is not letting him bowl. Like he used to be a pretty decent like sixth bowler, and
very good. Like I think one of the game, I think South Africa game, I believe, or was it the one of the games in the World Cup? He was like, "Yo, you should have bowled all 10."
Yo, the Asia Cup game against Sri Lanka.
That's the one.
He brought Pakistan
back
in the team.
He
was one of the most economical bowlers in the last ODI World Cup. So I'm not sure why he's not being given more opportunities with the ball. Not saying that would hide or make up for his lack of him showing up with the bat. But all of these issues, this is basically Pakistan's whole team, bro. Saim is not performing. But Riz-Bar are opening. If they're getting out, we have no middle order. Usman Khan is undercooked. Azam Khan is not delivering. Iftikhar Chachu is nowhere to be seen. The only guy who is doing some good is Fakhr, but only he's doing good when he comes into the power play, right? Whenever he comes after the first 6 overs, he's struggling a bit, right? He needs the power play to make the most of the scenario. I remember the second T20I against Ireland, he came in the power play, Pakistan like 13 for 2. He comes in, scores a brilliant partnership with Rizwan, finishes the match. The first match against England this series in Birmingham, he was the only dominant figure in the Pakistan setup. Like he scored 45 off 21 balls. And again, he came in the power play. So just lots of unanswered questions, man. I don't even know, like, where do we begin? How do we solve this stuff?
Yeah, like, let's put our playing 11 for the USA. First game is on 6th of June in Dallas. Starts at 10:30 a.m. Like our EST, I believe, right? So
Yeah.
it's 11:30 for them. If I'm not wrong. Give me your 11 for the USA.
Are we backing Saim Ayub to open?
I mean, is it going to be a BP 11 or is it going to be a Bashar 11? You tell me.
There should be a BP 11.
All right, you want to do BP 11? I just saw, just a slide aside. Sky Sports great coverage of the World Cup and the series. Debacle segment they had where they're trying to do the Dream 11. I mean, like everybody had very different thoughts on how that segment wanted to go. So, do not want to repeat that. But here's a little Easter egg I'll throw to the fans, a little trailer. We're doing an all-time 11 pretty soon. I think we're recording that tomorrow or day after. So all-time T20 11 is coming. We have so much cricket content, bro. Like I can't even. I'm so excited. So yeah, Pakistan's playing 11. Let me just quickly open up the Pakistan 2024 T20 squad so I can make a better assessment. I know who the 15 are, but I just want to make sure that I don't get anybody wrong. All right. So the 15 again is Babar Azam, Abrar Ahmed, Azam Khan, Fakhr Zaman, Haris Rauf, Ifti, Imad Wasim, Muhammad Abbas Afridi, Muhammad Amir, Muhammad Rizwan, Naseem Shah, Saim Ayub, Shadab Khan, Shaheen Shah Afridi, and Usman Khan. That's the 15 Shah. So, all right. If you want to make a BP 11, let's do it. Who's your number 1 or 2?
Are we backing Saim Ayub for the World Cup?
Yes.
So that's
because we just talked about it. If he's out anyways, I'd rather play him than
I think whatever happens, Pakistan should not go back to Rizwan Babar. And I say this again, despite them scoring Pakistan's highest partnership of this year in T20Is. And the reason behind that is if both of them get out in the power play, Pakistan is cooked. Our middle order cannot bat 15 overs for their life. And that's why I think Babar Azam is best suited for number 3. Because he can come in, consolidate if needed. If Pakistan has a good start, he can capitalize on that. So, having said that, let's go ahead. Let's back Saim Ayub. The ultimate reason why he was picked for the World Cup was his stats in the CPL. I repeat, second highest run score last year, most sixes. So, these conditions should favor him. Also, USA is sort of a weaker opponent, so he can score against them, gain some confidence, and then lead up to the game against India.
World Cup runs are World Cup runs. And the one thing that we did forget to mention, a big asterisk to this whole scenario, which you beautifully laid out, was the reason why Babar and Saim were picked. This World Cup is in the Windies, guys. There's going to be drop-in pitches in the US, which Azam has played in the GT20 for. It's going to be very similar to those. So, and he did well in the GT20. That being said, this is why these guys were picked up. And now yes, maybe they were undercooked, maybe they're a bit exposed in conditions like Ireland, like England, especially. But this is the reason why they were picked. This is the do or die stage. You put them in the team. You put Saim at 1, put Rizwan at 2, you put Babar at 3, put
So
Fakhr at
does
4.
Usman Khan sit out then?
Yes, Usman sits out. That's what I should do. If you're gonna go in bold, go in bold. It's the USA. If you're genuinely terrified of the USA,
Bro, they have Ali Khan opening the bowling attack.
that's fine.
He's
That's
good.
okay.
He's quick. He swings the ball into Saim Ayub, lefty. Great death over bowler. And they've also got this one
again,
guy.
if Saim goes off, hits him for a couple of boundaries, it's Ali Khan. It's not Mark Wood. He can recover from that. Saim can. So I would rather put him there. Hopefully he gets some runs under his belt so he has a good, momentum towards the big game on 9th June. So yeah, the top 4 again, Saim, Rizzi, Babar, Fakhr, right? That's your 4. Talk about 5 and 6.
I have serious doubts over Azam. I do. Just starting off with him in the gloves, I can't imagine him dropping Virat Kohli against the game in India. He should just, if that happens ever, you shouldn't even go out to the hotel. Like, just dig a hole for yourself in the ground. That's it. So I feel like Azam with the gloves is a liability.
Okay, pause. Is Azam Khan a bad wicket keeper?
Having Rizwan on the side and you're comparing it to him, yes.
Okay. Azam Khan, the wicket keeper, is he a bad wicket keeper?
Again, what do you mean?
I'm not talking about in context of Rizwan being the team. I'm just like, is he just generally a bad wicket keeper?
I think he's an average wicket keeper.
Okay, so him being nominated as the best wicket keeper of PSL 2024, do you agree or disagree with that?
I think one of the reasons why that happened, no disrespect to Azam, but it's because Usman Khan was keeping in Multan and Rizwan was fielding.
Okay. So if you think if Rizu was keeping for Multan, then probably Rizu would have gotten it.
Likely, as he has the past years.
Okay, so he's the second best keeper. I'm trying to figure it out.
I think Mohammad Haris is a really good keeper.
Okay, let me rephrase it another way. The 4th T20I, was that a bad game for Azam Khan, or is that Azam Khan in a nutshell?
I think he's dropped similar catches in similar positions. I remember the final. Was it the final of the CPL? He dropped Nicholas Puran. I don't remember if it's the final or the qualifiers, but he dropped Nicholas Puran. It was a South African pacer bowling. He dropped him sitter here, and the next ball, luckily, he gets caught out on mid-off. So Azam was like praying that Nicholas Puran got caught the next ball. I think it was Pretorius who was bowling.
Respite for Azam Khan as Puran gets caught at the very next ball after he dropped him.
So he dropped a sitter, and then next ball gets out.
This was the
caught
season
on mid-off.
Yeah.
It was just this, the recent season. So not the first time Azam has dropped a sitter. I think it's the pressure that gets to him. And again, just when you have Rizwan in the side, he's the best keeper in Pakistan. He's so good that sometimes his keeping goes under the radar. Like, we don't know how good he is until Azam is with the gloves now. So I have reservations with Azam Khan, the keeper. I have reservations with Azam Khan not delivering at this stage. He's got 8 matches this year, average of 13, strike rate is 155, but again, 13.5 average, not
so
good.
You don't take the player that you backed all year?
Well, the player you backed all year hasn't delivered yet.
So, I mean, that's what I'm asking. These are the hard questions, bro. This is why they have 7 people and there's 2 of us.
Bro, Phil Salt and Will Jacks, they're delivering at the international stage. They're not experimenting. They're not backing them. They're going out there scoring runs for England. Phil Salt demolished Pakistan in the last game.
I had my reservation with Phil Salt and I'm taken aback.
I'm sure you're just as scared of him as I am.
I'm terrified.
So,
that 25 off Naseem, right? He was the guy.
Naseem show over.
It's tough, bro.
So what I'm trying to say is that Pakistani players are coming to the international stage and they're needing like 10, 15 matches to adapt. So it goes to show how far behind our domestic cricket is.
Okay, give me an answer. I need an answer. We have the 4 locked in. Give me number 5 and 6. I say we go with Azam. You backed him all season. Why not? Why would you pull him? So if you don't play Azam at the World Cup at all, then his selection is meaningless. He's taken a spot that somebody else should have taken.
As much as I know Babar, he's going to play safe. He won't play Azam. That's just my prediction.
Okay, but what does BP want to do?
I think Azam with the gloves is a liability. I wouldn't play him.
And I think you would play Azam, especially if against the US. If he gets in runs, if he gets a good game in, that's momentum.
Don't you think those runs could be misleading? Because once he's up against Chahal and Kuldeep against India, not even that. Teams like I said, teams know he's good against spin, or like he's more attacking against spin. So whenever he comes on, they might put on Bumrah or Hardik Pandya. How do you think he's going to do against them?
I think at this point, it doesn't matter. At this point, you've invested too much in him. You've backed him up since December, I believe, right? Right after the Australia series. You've been investing in this guy. You named him in your 15, and you're not playing him because he's out of form. I think that's a cop-out. You always bring back, like in a game, Bashar, if your prime bowler goes for runs, you bring him back after a couple of spells. Like if somebody gets out, you want to make sure you keep your confidence of your prime. He's your guy, right? You got to bring him back for the death or whatever it is. I think if Azam is that guy, if you're making sure, if you made that statement, if you're putting him in the 15 because he's the middle order, he's a 5 and 6 for you, then you put him in the team, especially against USA. There's nothing to lose. Unless you're genuinely terrified of losing against Ali Khan in the USA, then bro.
Okay, so let's say hypothetically Azam scores against the USA.
Yeah.
Come the game against India.
Yeah.
What if he drops a catch? What if he misses a stumping?
Yeah, what if you know if what did he say? There was this meme that I just saw like 2 days ago. It was like, if my aunt was on wheelchairs, she would be in a bicycle, something like that. What you're talking about is if, ands, and buts. What I do is absolutes. I don't do if, ands, and buts.
There's a likely chance, given his past record, that he could have a lapse in his keeping. I'm not even getting to his batting yet.
Okay.
Right? Game against India, the margins are so short.
Yes. Close, yeah.
Every run matters.
I mean, if he doesn't perform against the US, then yeah, that's
so then you drop him mid-tournament.
Yeah, you got to do that. I mean, we did that with Fakhr. Fakhr was injured, but we did that with
Heather Ali.
With Asif Ali. We did that. We did that with who else? We did that again in the Cricket World Cup as well. 2023 World Cup. What did we drop? Abdul Shafiq came in late, didn't he?
Yeah, we dropped Imam.
Yes, we did that. I mean, that's not a brand new thing. That's happened before, all the time. Like
I still feel like if Azam scores against the USA, it could be misleading because,
or it could be the spark that he needed.
Let's say Pakistan beat USA, they lose against India because that's just the likely chances. But they beat Ireland, Canada, they go to Super 8s. First game against England, he's up against Mark Wood again, Jofra Archer again.
It's redemption.
How is he going to do it?
Redemption time, baby. Like, what do you want me to do? Like,
he was in no position to play the short ball.
English pitches are different than West Indian pitches, but you know this better than I do.
It's okay. So not like the oval was like the Waka. Like, yes, there was pace and bounce, but they're going to ball at the same pace and speed.
Yeah, I agree they will. And
so nothing really changes.
It's either going to be Azam coming out and proving himself again, or it's going to be Azam doing what he just did. Like, there's no other way to say it. And same thing with Shadab, by the way. Like, Shadab is kind of, again, going under the radar because of the whole Azam conversation. But, Shady, man, I love you, but what's going on?
Okay, so I think BP will have to agree or disagree here.
Okay.
But I think...
Who's your 5?
I think by way of backing Saim, let's also back Azam. But
that's what I'm saying.
Come the end of the World Cup, they'll be the first ones out of the team. It'll be hard to see them back in the greens.
Wild theory. If Pakistan wins the World Cup, are this allowed?
Of course not.
Right?
Of course not.
Fine. All right. I like where we're at.
I think you're just being way too optimistic.
I'm being extremely optimistic because I don't like this negative energy that
you mislead the people.
I'm not misleading.
This guy is seeing the fire in Azam Khan's eyes, guys.
The fire in Azam Khan's eyes. I see it. He's hunger. He wants to come back. Wood, 4 balls, 4 sixes. Out of the park. Where are they playing? Guyana? Barbados? Wherever they're playing. Doesn't even matter. He's going to hit a 6 from Barbados to Guyana.
Now taking new applicants for a co-host on Backward Point. Please do.
All right. So we got 5. We got Azam. Do we replace Shadab or not?
I think we should play Shadab at 5.
Okay. Azam at 6.
And then you play Azam at 6. Okay. Iftikhar 7.
Okay.
Imad 8. Shaheen 9. And then
Haris 10.
Haris Rauf 10.
And then
And then do you play Ahmed or do you play Naseem? Because Naseem's recent form, I just had his stats out.
Yeah, it's not good.
actually. His bowling economy was like 10 plus.
his Naseem Shah 6 matches, 4 wickets, 48 average, and 10.26 economy. But Amir is not any better. 7 matches, 5 wickets, 44 average, and 9.16 economy. So you go either or.
God damn it.
Yo, this podcast, an hour and 10 minutes, by the way. And this is depression.
It's like you either vote, you remember 2016, whatever US elections?
2020.
You either vote for Hillary or you vote for
2016,
Trump.
yes.
But you're voting for the lesser of the evils. Oh my God. This is, I'm having a headache.
No, the simple answer is that these guys need to come back in form. Like, it'll be a repeat of the 2023 World Cup if none of these guys show up. It's simple as that. These guys are world-class players. We have to remember Amir is a two world event winner, like the Champions Trophy and the T20 World Cup.
So he's a big match player.
Yes, Shadab Khan is a Champions Trophy winner. Shaheen, what does he want?
2 PSLs.
2 PSLs back to back, right? Like we'll give him that. Like these guys are big impact players. Azam, CPL, PSL, Saim, CPL. Gotta back them. They gotta back themselves, bro. At this point, they gotta back themselves. Like it's literally it's all in their head. It's all in their head. They are the ones that are putting themselves in positions that they're not succeeding. Saim, stop playing the no look. Azam, get out of your own head. Be behind the keeper, be behind this stumps like the keeper that your dad was. Hit those balls that you're seeing. Just don't be afraid. Shadab, he actually bowled pretty well in the third T20, but that's the one that we want. He comes and goes. It's so weird with him.
But we also want the Shadab to score runs. He's not scoring runs. Like we were pretty vocal of him batting up the order, and he was surprisingly, he's been promoted up the order to number 5, and he had a first ball duck in his 100th game for Pakistan in T20s. So a very sad appearance for him in that milestone of a match. And even the game before that, he was caught out attacking Adil Rashid. So we expect better from Shadab because I feel like he was evolving as a batting all-rounder. And we were almost seeing a position where you could have played him in the middle order as a 5th or 6th bowler and then also play Abrar or play Saim Ayub, depending on the conditions. So
I mean, at the same time, Shadab, 6 innings with those 2 ducks and that horrible 3 runs off 4 balls. His strike rate is still 169, bro.
What's his average?
Average is low, 13.2. But at this point, nobody's average except if you're not named Rizwan or Babar, your average sucks ass at Pakistan cricket team. But if he comes in, he gives me this average, 14 runs off 6 balls. I won't be mad. I won't be pissed.
But Shadab's primary role of the team is to bowl, and Pakistan's success the last 2 T20 World Cups, a lot of it has to go with how Shadab bowled in the middle overs. He was the player of the tournament contender in both World Cups. He turned up for crunch matches for Pakistan. And I just feel like a Pakistan team where Shadab Khan is not taking wickets in the middle over is a very weak Pakistan team.
Bro, Shadab in 2021, get this, average 46, strike rate 170. 2022, average 20, strike rate 154.
Bro, that semi-final, I remember he got David Warner out. He got Glenn Maxwell out. Like he got Mitch Marsh out. Like he was just on a roll that World Cup.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough for Shady. I want the Shady back, honestly. And this time that we spent with him at Islamabad, he was working on it. He was trying really hard. Like that's one thing that I can say. He was at the practices an hour before we were, and he was leaving 20 to 30 minutes after we were. So he was putting in the hours. And my belief is if you're putting in the hours, if you're trying to be a hard worker, and you outwork your competition, you will succeed. If not now, then tomorrow, day after, it comes. Yeah, so I feel like there's nothing else on the agenda except for dismay and worrisome. Any positives, anything that you can think about. I don't want to leave these guys on a negative. Give me some motivation.
Haris Rauf is back.
There we go.
Haris Rauf, the wicket taker. I absolutely love to see both Naseem and Haris back in the team after being injured with critical injuries to their shoulders. It just shows that these guys take their rehab seriously. They take their training seriously. They're disciplined, and they're back full throttle, full pace. And I think they will only go from strength to strength from here on out. Haris Rauf has always been that wicket taker for Pakistan. If you don't give him an over in the power play, he is a different bowler in the middle overs and the death overs. He's a smart bowler. He knows how to adjust his line length. I think some of the recent fans, the seasonal fans, were mixing up the formats. They were judging him in T20s based on his ODI performances. But Haris has shown that he's been one of Pakistan's top wicket takers in this format the past 4 years. As soon as he started making the debut for Pakistan, him and Shaheen have been Pakistan's strike bowlers in this format. And I think there's no way you can drop either of them. The decision is like, do they play Amir or do they play Naseem?
Yeah, no, totally. That's a great call on that. He's been having a phenomenal year. He's 6 matches, 12 wickets at an average of 19. The economy is a bit high, but he bowls in the death, so that's totally fine. And even last year, he had 5 matches, 11 wickets at an average of 13 and an economy of 7.75. So he's definitely on a roll, and I love to see that. I want to see more of Haris Rauf being that beast that he is, that tank that he is, that rocket that he is. He bowls in fiery rockets, and just a little bit more support behind the stumps, and I think that he can pull it off. Haris Rauf is genuine pace, and I love that Pakistan still has that aggression in them. Him partnered up with a fit, healthy, and informed Naseem and Shaheen, what he's doing. That's where I feel like the real Pakistan shows up. Just give me power scores, guys. Give me power scores, and I feel like your bowling is good enough that you can get over the line in a few places. But here's my prediction before the World Cup starts, because the first game is tomorrow. It's Australia, it's USA, Canada, and my prediction is this. It's very simple. I said this in the previous podcast as well. Pakistan needs momentum. Tournaments are all about momentum. If you have it, like look at the run that RCB was on, bro. They lost 7 games on the trot, or 5 games on the trot. They were 7 for 1 in the first 8 games. The run that they went on almost made it through to the qualifiers and into the semis or whatever. So it's all about runs when it comes to big tournaments. That's what you're supposed to be on. If Pakistan can find that, they beat USA, maybe they'll stumble their way across the line, but they beat it. That's a win. The W in the back. They beat India. That's the game that I'm looking at, 9th of June. If you cross that line in an explosive manner, or maybe not even in an explosive manner, you sort of just elbow your way over the line, but you get over it. You might be on a roll, because then you have Ireland and Canada. If you steamroll that, suddenly you're 4 for 0. You're on a winning streak. Anything can happen. We saw that same thing in 2019, bro. I know you're smirking behind that. He's smirking, guys. But that's the same thing that happened in 2019. That's the same thing that happened in 2017 Champions Trophy. We've seen this happen multiple times before. See, 2022 World Cup, bro. What are you talking about?
But it also has to do with Pakistan having a bad game, bad day out in the tournament. So you decide, are we going to have a bad game against USA and then win straight through?
Super eights. Yeah, we're going to have a straight. Look, this is my perfect scenario for Pakistan. Ready? And then we'll end on this, because we've been blabbering for an hour and 20 minutes. People are aimlessly driving now in their cars. This is what I want for Pakistan.
Some have crashed their cars. You're like, this guy's
it's over. Crazy. It's over. Okay, but no, listen, hear me out. Sweep the group stages. So what does that mean? It just means beat India. And then, just don't be idiots in other games. Sweep that. Come to the group stage, lose against England, or lose against South Africa, right? Historically, you beat South Africa, and historically, you beat West Indies, but lose against one of these and beat the other 2, make it to the semis. That's all yours after that. By that point, you'll have a combination that's working. You'll either know that Saim, whatever the combination you have, either Saim is clicking or not, Azam is clicking or not. Whatever you find, you stumble your way into the 11, back those 11, keep moving it forward.
I know we put a BP 11, but I feel like as much as I know Babar, the Babar that I know of, my Babar.
Give me your Babar safe 11 and we got to go, bro.
The Babar safe 11.
Almost 1 a.m., guys.
The Babar safe 11 is Babar, Rizwan, Usman Khan, Fakhr Zaman, Imad Wasim, Iftikhar Ahmed, Shaheen Afridi, Mohammad Amir, Haris Rauf, Abrar Ahmed. That's Babar's 11.
I will lose my mind if this
So
11
in
plays
short,
against the US.
Usman Khan for Saim Ayub instead of in the BP 11.
Shuffle that order.
Imad Wasim for Azam Khan. Abrar Ahmed for Shadab Khan. That will likely be the 11 you see against USA.
And all this, whatever we went for the past 6 months, to waste.
Gone to waste. Unless Gary Kirsten or Wahab Riaz.
We haven't, sorry, I didn't mean to be that.
Senior team manager Wahab
We have
Riaz.
not talked about Gary Kirsten at all in this podcast. What is he thinking? What is going on? Is he talking to Azam?
We heard his
anybody
interview.
talking to Azam?
We heard his interview for TalkSport, and
That was before this whole debacle happened.
Yeah, but the one thing he mentioned is that from what he saw on the outskirts is he felt like Babar Azam was taking too much pressure. Gary felt like Babar had all of Pakistan's battings load on top of him.
Atlas.
He was the Atlas of the Pakistan's batting lineup, and he wanted Babar to play more freely, to play his natural game, take more risks, and we've seen Babar do that recently. So I feel like having Gary in the setup is good. He has led India to a ODI World Cup win, to them being number 1 test teams, and he's excited to be back on the international setup. He was with the Gujarat Titans in the past IPL. So he knows what the modern day game demands. And I just hope with him being there, either you back your players, Saim and Azam, or you give in to Babar Azam's agenda and then you just play it safe and avoid criticism and the backlash, which you will inevitably get anyways when you lose the World Cup.
All right. I try to finish it on a positive, but it's impossible with this scenario. I really hope that people listened all the way through. We're not talking for over an hour and 20 minutes. There was a lot of stuff to talk about, and it got convoluted, and some things had to be said about certain players. Some things had to be debunked. Our opinions had to be put forth. You know what? I honestly just want a good World Cup. I want a fun World Cup. I want to be entertained. I want to be overjoyed. And eventually, if I have to be depressed, I'll be depressed. It's not the first time ever. People are saying ever since Backward Point became popular, Pakistan's been shitting the bed. And you know what? Screw you guys. It has nothing to do with us. People are individuals. Let them play what they want. We'll keep supporting, even if they suck. And we're here. We're here throughout the whole thing. As from Backward Point, I think we wish Pakistan cricket team the best. I think there's nothing else to say about that. We wish everybody the best, actually. We just want a good tournament. This Sunday, we're having a live call with our Patreon members. This should be up before that. So if this isn't the Sunday, if it isn't June 2nd already, then you guys can join the Patreon, jump on the call, let's talk about it. Because I know people are eager to talk about it. They want an avenue to vent. And we are your Pakistan cricket team therapists. Come out. Join the Patreon, support the podcast, join the Discord if you guys want a non-toxic community to talk cricket. And yeah, let's get this World Cup going, guys. Go Team Canada tomorrow. I hope they pull it through. And
hashtag bleed red.
Bleed red, bro. Bleed red until you bleed green, and then you bleed green. And then you bleed red again. Anyways,
emoji of the day, I think, should be prayer hands.
Again? Oh my God.
Pakistan needs as much prayers as they can get. It's almost, imagine Babar Azam, hands up, spirit bomb. Everybody, put your hands up, prayers, and give your energy to Babar Azam.
Against Frieza. Oh my God.
Let's get it, bro.
Frieza is the world.
Let's get it.
I love it. I love it. That's it for a Backward Point, guys. I hope you guys stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next episode, which is probably going to be tomorrow. Because, bro, we're on a roll. Totally. Like, subscribe, comment. If you guys listening on Spotify, Apple Music, please leave a review. People stop doing that, and it hurts me. So, don't make me sad. Sadder than I actually am. And drop those reviews, guys. See you guys on the next one.
See ya.